How you doing, y'all? Matt, Massive Beers, here, back with a little bit of my boy Carson, down in Florida. Homebrew for everyone, Scotch for everyone. Yeah, on the Instagrams, just put a period between those words instead of spaces. He sent me a box of Florida goodness. Might be his last box of Florida goodness. He's moving. Anyway, sent me this. Yeah, doing a little bit of barrel-aged southern smells right now. This is their northern roots. We've covered their northern roots a couple times before. And this is this year's iteration. I believe it just came out a couple weeks ago. 2022 Northern Roots is a blend of our Imperial Stout aged over 12, count them, 12 months in Baker's and Heaven Hill bourbon barrels. So there you go. This is their toasted walnuts and vanilla bean version, coming in at 11% alcohol by volume. So, let's see what the sticker has. Yeah. I am like, my brain is churning like 1 billion miles per hour because I'm doing if you watch the channel semi-regularly, you know, I'm building an outdoor office / studio / she shed. And just the logistics of all the things that I just don't understand about those things. I'm just trying to learn as much as I possibly can. Like electrical and code and what needs to be done and how I should do things. And it's a lot of information for me to take in. So it's been fun. I'm not going to lie to you. Kind of learning all that stuff has been pretty fun, but at the same time, daunting. But yeah, label-wise, it's pretty cool. I've really liked where Southern Swells has taken their label designs since they've kind of jumped into existence. I'm actually going to leave my mic up there. I was going to move it down, but I've talked so much, I'm just going to have to bring the volume way up. But yeah, I dig the label design, and I believe they're going to change soon. That comes from inside information from my boy Logan down there in Florida way, as far as that beer looks. Looks the part of a stout. Not much of a head on it. You're talking about 12 months in barrels. I assume it's a blended beer. Basically, they probably barrel aged this. I'm assuming they barrel aged a bunch of different barrels and a bunch of different Heaven Hill and what was the other one? Baker's, and then did a little bit of blending and then added the adjuncts of the vanilla and the walnuts and all that kind of stuff. So, not expecting a huge carbonation, but it looks the part of a big old burly stout. The nose knows. That smells awesome. Like really, 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 like really, I can just keep saying really for like 100 times awesome. And I can't stress this enough. Walnuts out the wazoo. I did not expect that. I'm a big walnut fan. And I need to kind of explain that for a lot of different people. It's not that I'm a big fan of like the taste of walnuts, but something about walnuts kind of like triggers something in my kind of childhood. You know, my grandmother, my mother, there were just always walnuts around, always toasted walnuts around just to kind of eat as a snack. It was kind of like, you know, the candy of today's world, the chips of today's world. And I don't really eat them all that much nowadays. But I distinctly remember the taste and smell, and that's exactly what I'm getting in this beer, which is really, really, really cool. I mean, there's much more to it. There's that soft little vanilla vibes coming in there. There's spirit. The bourbon portion of the show is there. Not super hot, not super big, not super roasty, toasty. The stout is definitely the probably meatiest portion of the show here, but the way this kind of walnut comes off is very, very cool. It's very cool. I've never had a nut come off, minus like peanut butter, obviously, like jarring nuts that are super duper like present and very, very easy to impart. I've never had it kind of come off something as gentle as this, like your kind of pistachio, almond, that kind of thing going on. It's really, really large. Man, it's so cool. I can't believe they imparted that. I'm really curious to see how. Well, I'm not curious. I'm not. Curious, but I'm just wondering how they pulled that off because I'm not sure how they did. Because I don't think anybody's ever pulled that off before. But yeah, walnuts out the wazoo. A nice big roasted stout. Spirit isn't big, not a huge barrel characteristic. Vanilla is quite small. But I think if everything else there was just dialed up a notch, then that walnut really wouldn't come through. So I don't know where this is going to land in taste, but I think the nose is really, really, really cool. So dive in. Cheers. They had to use like walnut extract, which sounds like a dirty word, extract. Ooh. But I think they had to do some kind of like, they didn't just toss walnuts in the fermenters here. It can't be possible. They had to basically do a lot of legwork on the nut side of things. Like create their own extract. Like I don't think there's like dealers walking the street with like walnut extract. I think they probably did like a roasted and toasted a bunch of walnuts. And somehow pulled that flavor out there and somehow imparted in this beer because it is really the most nutty beer I've ever had in my life. I talk about a double-digit Imperial Stout, aged for 12 months, multiple barrels with vanilla. And I'm sitting here talking about walnut. I want you to process that for a second. Such a gentle flavor. Such a kind of a flavor you wouldn't necessarily associate with being that big and that vibrant. And not only is it there in the nose, it follows through in the taste in a way that's really, really, really cool. This is really fun beer. Like, really fun. I mean, the spirit is there. You're getting a nice little pop of heat, just not big, not caustic, not aggressive, but enough to know you're drinking something that's barrel aged. There's a nice vanilla / chocolate combination. I believe you're getting some barrel char in combination with the vanilla that's from the vanilla added. That just makes this a little bit kind of, not lactosey, but enough in that direction to be in a fun way, in a good way, not in a negative way. Imperial Stout is nice. It's nice and big and robust, but not heavy-handed, so it's a little bit more on the drinkable side of things. I think all those flavors and all that kind of portionship from the barrel, from the beer, from the spirit, any vanilla adjunct, if you may elevate them a little bit bigger, like I said in the nose, you make them a little bit bigger, you make them a little bit bolder, I think you end up with something that's just a little bit too aggressive to where the walnut doesn't really shine through, but it really does here. In just a really spectacular way. That's so cool. That's such a cool beer. It's like bringing me back. It's like appealing to the beer side of me, while at the same time totally ticking all the boxes of the child side part of me, to where those kind of nuts, those roasted nuts, those roasted walnuts that I remember as a kid from my grandma and my mother, kind of really just kind of hitting home and just kind of really triggering the synapses in my brain to remember. That's super cool. That's a very, very cool beer. Thank you very much for sending this off, Carson. Man, that's fun. Now here's the trick though. Is it one of the better barrel-aged beers I've had this late? For me, it's going to be. I don't think, in the grand scheme of things, it's just like otherworldly kind of barrel-aged beer that a lot of people covet and trade for and go. I don't think that's where this beer lands. It's more of kind of a personal preference, and just something about it really just kind of tickles me pink to the point where it just, again, anytime you bring me back to my childhood, we're going to end up in a very, very cool place. But yeah, I just think it's fun. Infinitely delicious plus fun, let's put it that way, in a very, very cool way. Yeah, I dig that. Southern Swells, thank you very much. I'm really excited to dive into the other ones in that fridge there. There's a couple, 2, 3, 4 more barrel aged offerings that Carson sent up. All the Southern Swells, Northern Roots, just different variants and stuff like that. Some rum barrel aged stuff and stuff like that. So this is my first foray into the set he set up. He sent the whole set, I believe. Lost one in transit. It was like the chili spiced one. I'm excited to dive into those. So thank you very much, brother, for thinking of me and sending this off. Cool primer going in the other ones. It is Mount Rushmore fun stuff. Barrel aged stuff, it's definitely up there. It's a very cool fun beer, especially if you dig on barrel aged beers that drink easily. And that's kind of the one thing that I really express with this. This is not like thick. It's more of dense and creamy as opposed to super thick. But the way it imparts its flavor is really, really fun. So, depending on where you land on beers, this is going to land high on the spectrum, low, not low. It's really well done beer, but it's tasty nonetheless. I don't know the price. Carson, let me know what's what. yeah, I'm not doing it if you like what we like this. I should do that still, though, right? Walnuts. I like walnuts. Walnuts, roasted walnuts, poly walnuts. Hey, hey yo. So there you go. Yeah, fun stuff, man. Thank you very much, Carson. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully, you're enjoying little barrel aged jams right now. Cheers, y'all.